Hi guys, I hope you're all well. Welcome to London. We're in lockdown number 16 or 17. I've lost track, but anyway, so today I'm going to run through my 5 essential things, what I find is really helpful in automotive shoots. So in the past, I've worked with clients including like Lamborghini, Bentley, Hyundai, Mini, Mercedes, all sorts of automotive clients, and I found these things really useful to really improve the quality of the shoot and the quality of the images. So I hope you find this handy. For those who don't know me, I'm Alex Stead. I'm a London-based professional photographer. I'd absolutely love you to check out my Instagram and this YouTube, but for now, let's get straight into it. So the first item on my list is, of course, radios, and these are so cheap and so essential on most shoots. Some of the shoots I do are like setups, so in different environments where the car is just stationary, so it's no real big need for them. But a lot of the stuff we're out and about on roads and different places, so having one of these is so key. I recently did a Bentley shoot in Yorkshire, and these were just lifesavers because we had 3 different cars. I had to coordinate all the different drivers to do stuff, so I can't recommend these enough. These aren't very expensive. I bought 4 for like £40, but I would highly recommend picking up a pair of these if you haven't got them already. They're super useful. So next up is definitely going to be polarizers. These really help me out. I use them on all of my shoots, but especially for automotive photography, they really help get rid of the glare and unwanted reflections on the car, because the thing you're wanting to pick up on cars is obviously the incredible detail the manufacturer has put into it. And if you have horrible glare on the car, they're not really impressed. So I've got drone ones and I've got normal ones, and you don't have to spend a fortune, you know. You can go high end, which is Polar Pro. I highly recommend these. They're really good, but they're also really expensive. But before I started using Polar Pro, I use Holga Polarizers, and these are also really good. I mean, they're a lot cheaper and they're not as good quality, but for the value, these are fantastic. But either way, I would definitely pick up these. These are going to improve your photography and automotive work, I think, so much. So yeah, get on these. What is next up? So next up on the list is a source of lighting, and I think this can be really important. Well, for me, I'm pretty well known for my work in natural lighting and natural landscapes. But recently I've really wanted to push into bringing some subtle flash work and other ambient lighting, you know, into my work. So especially with my client work. So I've invested in this Gordex AD400, and it's been really good. I haven't used it on many shoots, but they are really good, decent battery life, and there's loads of different flashes available out there. You don't have to spend, you know, £600 or £700 on a flash. You can just get something a bit cheaper, or even light painting. Light painting is a well-known technique with product work or automotive photography, and you just need a fairly powerful light to kind of go around the car. So I would definitely experiment with different lighting forms you can do, because I think it would really up your work. How many have I said so far? Radios, polarizers, flash. So my next one is prime lenses. I haven't actually got any of my prime lenses here, they are away, but I usually use a 35mm and a 50mm prime. So why use primes? They're absolutely fantastic in getting more light and more depth of field into your image. Sometimes shooting in lower light can be tricky, and of course it's useful to have things like the flashes and ambient light, but when you're kind of doing on-the-move shoots, which can be the case for certain projects, it's so useful to have some primes which can stop down to 1.4 or 1.8, so you can keep a lower ISO and get some really cool depth of field shots as well. I mean, most lenses are 2.8 or f4, and you can get the depth of field, but you can't get what you can get from a prime lens. Generally speaking, prime lenses are a bit sharper than a zoom lens, so that's also a fantastic thing to keep an eye out for. And also less distortion, which is a really good one. The last thing you want with automotive photography is distortion. Try avoid using, you know, really wide lenses with automotive photography, especially lenses like a 14 to 24 Nikon. I used that previously when I was starting out in car work, and it was such a mistake. It creates so much distortion, and it changes forms of the cars, like the wheels into ovals, and it makes editing really tricky. So get some prime lenses, they're absolutely fantastic. You don't need to spend a fortune. You can pick up some really cheap, and yeah, I would get into that. So the last essential item for me is a sturdy tripod. So I use a Peak Design It's the only tripod they make. I can't remember the name of it. I think it's just Peak Design tripod. But tripods are so important in automotive photography. I've done a lot of different night shoots, and usually they have quite tight deadlines in terms of we're set up in a location and we've got a lot to shoot that evening. So having a tripod you can rely on and it's just easily adjustable just makes life 10 times easier. I remember doing a shoot quite a few years ago and I had a not great tripod and it was just fiddly and I just had to adapt to shots and had the client behind me nagging me about something or other. So having a tripod which is super easy to use and super sturdy, I think is absolutely a key point to have. So those are my kind of top 5 essential things. I hope you guys found that useful. If you want to check out more of my automotive work and more about what I'm about, please do check out my Instagram and website, and maybe if you want, subscribe to this YouTube channel. I'm kind of working on a few different things and I've got some videos out which you might find useful. Anyway, thanks a lot.